Shir Shachal Racha Beodo Nataviadam.
Rachot Neatavi Haruham Baruch Adonai El Melech Rovat Yishmachot El Hodaot Adonai Niflaot Habacher B'Shirei Zimra Melech El Chei HaOlamim Yitkadav Yitkadash Shemei Rabah
Amen.
Amadi Bakirete V'Amlich Malchute V'Chayachon V'Mechon V'Chedechovet Yisrael Magalav Izman Kariv Imru Amen
Amen. יחשמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעולם.
Yehish Rabba Mevorach L'Lamom Lehem Ahomaya Yitbarach V'Yishtabach Yitbar B'Tmam V'Naseh V'Tadar V'Tula V'Tavlah Shmir K'Rishah
ברכות.
V'Yehu Le'echla Min Kol B'chata V'Shirata Tishbechata V'Nechamata Damifan V'Yama V'Imru Amen
Amen.
Baruch
ברוך אדוני מבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אדוני מחולם צרו וחושך זה שלום בורא את הכל. הכל ידוך.
הכל ידוך וכל ישבח לך וכל ימין קדוש קדוש אין כלפנינו בעולם הזה ואין צדקת מלכנו לפני העולם הבא אפס תחגלנו למות המשיח והן דומה לך משיענו לתחיית המתים אלעדון על כל המעשים ברוך ומבורך לפי כל נשמה קרוב וטובו מלא עולם תחת תבונה סביבותו המתגאה על חיות הקודש ונהדר בכבוד על המרכבה זכות ומישור לפני כיסו חסד ורחמים מפני כבודו טובים מאורות שברא אלוהינו יצרם בדעת בבינה ובהשכל כוח וגבורה נתן בהם להיות מושלים בקרב תבל נביאים זיו מפיקים נבותם מעזיבם בכל העולם זניחים בצאתם וששים בבואם רוצים להם הרצון קונם בכבוד נותנים לשמור חלה ורינה בספר מלכותו קרא לשמש ויזרח אור ראה והתקין צורת הבנה שבע נותנים פה כל צבא Maharu Tiferet Ugetula Seraphim Ve'Orphanim V'Chayot HaKodesh V'Hel Asher Shabbat Mikol HaMa'asim
Mizmor Shir Shabbat Tov Ladonai. We sing songs on Shabbat because it's good to praise God. Page 110.
כולם הורים, כולם בהורים, כולם גיבורים, חוסים במערב רצון קונם, וכולם בוכים בפיהם בקדושה, בתורה, בשירה וזמרה. מברכים משבחים מפארים, מריצים מקדישים וממליכים. את שם אל המלך הגדול גיבור ונורא, קדוש הוא. וכולם מקבלים עליהם ומחושבים זה מזה, ונותנים רשות זה לזה, להקדיש ליוצם נחת רוח בשפה ונעימה, קדושה כולם כאחד, עונים ואומרים ביראה. קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, מלך כל הארץ כבודו. רוחני בחיות הקודש, בפרש קודשים למצרפים, למתם שלחים ואומרים, ברוך כבוד אדוני במקומו, ועל ברוך נמות ייתן. Or chadash al Zion tahir, or chadash al Zion tahir, ונזכה כולנו מהרה להורו, מהרה להורו, ברוך אתה אדוני, יוצר המאורות. ברוך אתה אדוני. והביאנו לשלום מארבע כנפות הארץ, ותוליכנו קוממיות לארצנו. כי אלפו אל ישועות אתה, ובנו בחרת מכל עם ולשון, וקרבתנו לשמך הגדול. סלע באמת, להודות לך, ויחדך באהבה. ברוך אתה אדוני, אבא עמו ישראל באהבה. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו לטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך. ויאמר אדוני משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם, עשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו על ציצית הכנף ותל תפארת, והיה לכם לציצית. וראיתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני, ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. יציב נכון. כדור קיים ושמו קיים, תפיסו נכון, נפותו ומונתו להד קיימת. דבריו חיים וקיימים, הם יודעים. נעצ'תו ונאמנו אלוהי אבותינו, מלכנו מלך אבותינו, גואלנו גואל אבותינו, יוצרנו, צור ישועתנו, נותן מתנה מעולם שמך, אין אלוהים זולתך, עזרת אבותינו אתה הוא לעולם.
Page 114.
ולפעיון ברוך ומבורך, משה בני ישראל, לכנו שירה, בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם. יהי חמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. שירה חדשה, שבחו גאולים, לשמך על שפת הים, יחד כולם הודו, והמליכו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, ומה בעזרת ישראל, ותקומך יהודה וישראל, גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל, ברך את אדוני בישראל. The silent Amida begins on page 115b.
you're still davening, please continue. Page 115b.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohe Avotenu Elohe Abraham Elohe Yitzchak Elohe Yaakov Elohe Sarah Elohe Rivka Elohe Rachel Elohe Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Hanora El Elyon Omer Chasadim Tovim V'Koneh Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot Omer Yigo Elib Nevnehem V'man Shemo B'Yahava Melech Uzer Foked Mashiach Umag Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Abraham Foked Sarah Atah Gibor L'Olam Adonai Mechayem Itim Atarav L'Hoshia Mashiach HaKruach Morid HaGashem Mechakel Chayim B'Chesed Mechayem Itim B'Rachamim Rabim Tzomech Noflim V'Rofech Olim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Mechamocha Ba'al Gevurot Umidom Melach Melech Nemit Mechayeh Umatniach Yeshua Ne'eman Atalachayot Niti Baruch Atah Adonai Mechayeh Hamitim Kadesh et Shemcha Ba'olam Kishem Shem HaKdishim Oto B'Shmei Marvon Kakatuv Hayad Hayad Nevi'echa V'kara Ze El Ze Be'alam
קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות מלוך על הארץ כבודו.
Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh Adonai Tzevaot, Kol haaretz kevodo. Aktikov rashtato aderech hazak mashmim ko, mitnasim l'matzerafim l'matan, baruch yom eru.
ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו.
Ruchvar Adonai b'nkomo, b'nkomocha malkeinu tofiha, v'ti'im l'chaleinu k'machakim, anachnu lach, mahatai t'imloch b'tzion, v'kaharon, v'yahamenu, ve'olam ba'ed tishbu. תתכתב, תתקדש בתוך ירושלים עירך, לדור ודור ולנצח נצחים.
עינינו תראנה, מלכותך עוזך. משיח צדקך.
Hallelujah.
Elohim Elohai Tzion, Torvador, Hallelujah. The Torvador Nagid Vavlach Netach Mitzim Tushat Chanaktish, the Shikacha Elohim Pinu Yamish Lovlam Ba'ed, Ki Amal Korav Kadosh Ataba, Ataranai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Amen.
Moshe Magnar Chako, Ki Eben Eman Kratalo, Kilio Tiferet Bertuna Tatalo, Bondavna Har Sinai, Vishni Luchot Avenim Hurid Yataho, Faktivim Shimrat Shabbat, Bechen Katu, Betoratecha, Visham Bene Yisrael, Et HaShabbat, V'asot et HaShabbat, V'dorotam b'brit olam, V'hidim ben b'nei Yisrael, Oti le'olam. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. יום השביעי שבת וינפש. הרצות, נכון מקנה דבתי תקציבים, וגם בנחתו לא ישכנו ערבים, כי בישראל עמך נתקבע בה, לזרע יעקב אשר פעם בחרת. המקדשי שביר, כולם יצאו בנדון לבך, והשביעי רצילו וקדשתו פנדת ימים התואו קראת, ספר מעשה בראשית. Eloheinu, Elohei Avotinu, Ritzeinu Chatenu, Kachenu v'mitzvotecha, v'ten chokenu v'toratecha, Sabenu v'tuvecha, v'samchenu v'shruatecha, v'taher v'beinu, v'yovdecha v'emet, v'hantzivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, be'ahavahu v'ratzon, Shabbat kodshecha, v'yanuchu v'Yisrael, mekadesh shemecha, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh haShabbat. أدنى يسرو بتهم بشرب هبرا بتشفى بشكلتهم ببركو برتون هيراتون تمير برا إسرائيل آمخا بتخزنا إني بشوف خالتيون ببرحمهم بروح ترنا هاي نقصش كناتو لتيون مودي منا نبا كتونا Atov kilu fala rafanacha, ramutam kidam chasadecha, nolam tivenu laha. Ba'kulam yitrach tikram shchamak netamirulam la'ehet, v'chol ha'chayim dufas salat, v'ashim chabem mehet, ha'el yeshutun of ezer tinu sela, baruch Adonai, atov shem chalachana ele hodor. Elohinu v'levatinu, v'rachinu v'chamesh bashet, v'trach ba'adem she'avdacha, ha'amram bi'arnu v'na'av, konim amkir shacha, ka'amur. يبرخ الناي بيشمرخا يا إرنا بنبلخا بيخنخا
Yirtzon.
يسالنا بنبلخا بيسم لخا شالوم
Yiratzon.
Sihim shalom tova uvracha Ehin b'chesed v'rachamim Ahalinu ve'oko Yisrael A'oko Yisrael alecha V'archinu archinu kulanu ke'echad Kulanu ke'echad Be'or panecha ki be'or panecha Natata lanu Adonai Eloheinu Torat Chaim ve'ava ha'chesed, u'tzedakah u'beracha, ve'rachamim ve'chayim ve'shalom, ve'chayim ve'shalom, ve'tov le'enecha levarech et amcha levarech et amcha Yisrael, ve'chofet u'v'chol shachar, v'yishloho mecha. Baruch Adonai, blessed among Yisrael, B'Shalom.
Amen.
We continue with the Kaddish Shalem on page 138. Yitkadav Yikadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Amadi Bakotev, Nifma Kotev, Hayafon, Nefon Kedokobet Yisrael, Baklav Isman Kari Ve'imebru.
Amen. Yehesh merabah.
Yitbarach Yishtabach, Yitbarach Dinaseg, Redarvish Levitalosh, Merikudishab, the Evan Gobaklav Shatat, Shpatav Nakmatad, and Rambama, Ve'imebru.
Amen.
Bokutan Botun, the Khoisra, Kadama Mindi Shmaya, Ve'imebru.
Amen.
Yehosh Namarabamin Shmaya, V'chaim Alvina, V'Khoisra, Ve'imebru.
Amen.
V'Khe Shalom, Ve'imrabav, Ya'aseh Shalom, Alvin V'Khoisra, Ve'imebru.
Amen.
Yasher Koach. We continue with the Torah service, page 139. I saw the Newman family on the call there. Let's see if there they are. And this is where the bar mitzvah energy usually would start kicking up, just to keep you aware of what's happening in the service here. And here we go. But today, of course, there's no bar mitzvah, so we are blessed to have Shelley to lead us through the Torah service, page 139.
Ein kamocha ba'Elohim Adonai, v'ein k'ma'asecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, u'memshaltecha b'chodor v'hador. Adonai malach, Adonai malach, Adonai yimlach, Le'olam v'ad, Adonai oz le'amo yitein, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Avarachamim, etiva virtzonka, et Zion. Tivnei Chamot Yerushalayim, Tivnei Chamot Yerushalayim, Ki vecha levad bataknu, Melech Aram v'Nisa, Adon Olamim. Turn to page 140. Be'ana rachet, v'lishmei kadisha yakira, Ana emor tushbechan, Be'ana rachet, Be'ana rachet, V'lishmei kadisha yakira, Ana emor tushbechan, Yehi Rabba Kadama, Detivta Libi Bioraita, Vitashlin Mishalim Delibi, Beliba de Kolama Israel, Letochain, Velishan, Amen.
And Yasher Kochach, beautiful. Friends, we're going to begin our Torah reading. And so we'll call everybody up to the Torah, and we will all say our bracha, La'asok b'divrei Torah. Here we go. Vayazor v'yagin v'yoshia l'cha chasimbo v'nomar amen hakol. Habagoda lanu tekol Torah. Ya'amdu kulanu baruch shatat Torah l'mo Yisrael b'tu shato. Timad vikim et Elohechem, Chaim kochem hayom. Here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. All right, so we sang the bracha la'asok b'divrei Torah because during this pandemic Zoom era that we're living through, we don't have access to our Torah scroll in the context of this holy minyan. Yeah, we do have it. We can come and visit it and take care of it and maintain it. But since it's not here in our holy minyan, where it should be, so we're going to resist from saying the Birkat Torah and say Lasok b'divrei Torah, and we're going to say the bracha Lasok b'divrei Torah. So why do we do that? So now we have to grapple with the Torah. And so luckily we have a parsha ripe for grappling. And so we're going to take a look at our Torah text. page 206, Parshat Vayishlach. You know, there's lots of different stories in Parshat Vayishlach. We've got Esav and Yaakov embracing. We've got the wrestling with the angel, and we've got this Dinah story. Right? And so the Dinah story that we're going to read today is one of the more controversial, difficult, painful texts that we have in our Torah, and it pits two values against each other. Yeah. So what are the values that we're going to see conflicting against each other? What's one value we're going to see through the story that the brothers are uplifting? Right, protecting their sister. Right, the honor, protecting the honor of their sister. Right, is part of the story. Right? And so they're going to go after Shlem because they're protecting the honor of her sister. Right, valiant effort. Are we all agreed? Protecting the honor of one's sister.
No, not agreed.
Wait. Oh no! All right, so I'm going to take a rabbinic license and just we'll handle that objection a little bit later. But for now, we're going to see how this tension plays out in the story of Dinah. And at the end, I just want to note that it doesn't really end conclusively. The story isn't going to end conclusively. How does it end? It's so just let's go to the ending and then we'll read the beginning. We're going to let them treat our sister like a zona, right? That's how it ends, right? That's a question mark, right? You know, so it's gesturing towards a conclusion, maybe, but we don't hear Yaakov's response. What's Yaakov's contention? You're out of control. You're being too violent. We need shalom bayit, right? That's his issue, right? So we have this conflict that we're going to try to resolve. Ends in a question mark, and so we'll have to figure it out for ourselves. Here we go, page 206. We begin with the first Aliyah. Martin, Bakasha.
ותצא דינה בת לאה אשר ילדה ליעקב לראות בבנות הארץ ויראה שכם בן חמור החיבי נשיא הארץ ויקח אותה וישכב אותה וינחה ותדבק נפשו בדינה בת יעקב ויאהב הנערה וידבר על לב הנערה ויאמר שכם אל חמור אביו לאמור קח לי את הילדה הזאת לאישה.
Yesher koach, yesher koach. We continue with the second Aliyah, verse 5. Nancy.
V'Yaakov shama ki hitime et Dinah bito uvanav hayu et miknehu basada v'hecherish Yaakov ad boam vayetze chamor avishachem el Yaakov ledaber ito uvnei Yaakov באו מן השדה כשומעם ויתעצבו האנשים ויחר להם מאוד כי נבלה עשה בישראל לשכבת בית יעקב וכן לא יעשה וידבר חמור איתם לאמור שכם בני חשקה הנפשו בביתכם תנו לה אותה לו לאישה והתחתנו אותנו ובנותיכם תיתנו לנו ואת בנותינו תיקחו לכם ואיתנו תשבו והארץ תהיה לפניכם שובו ושכרוה והאחזוהו בה ויאמר שכם אל אל אביך ואל אחיך, אמסכן בעיניכם. באשר תאמרו אלי אתן, הרבו עלי מאוד מוהר ומתן, ואת נא כאשר תאמרו אלי, ותנו לי את הנערה לאישה.
Yasher kochach. Our third Aliyah, Andy.
ויענו בני יעקב את שכם ואת חמר אביו במרמה וידברו אשר טימא את דינה אחותם ויאמרו עליהם לא נוכל לעשות הדבר הזה לתת את אחותנו לאיש אשר לא ארלה כי חרפה היא לנו, אך בזאת נאות לכם, אם תהיו כמונו, להימול לכם כל זכר. ונתנו את בנותינו לכם, ואת בנותיכם ניקח לנו, וישבנו איתכם, והיינו לעם אחד, ואם לא תשמעו עלינו להימול, ולקחנו את ביתנו והלכנו.
All right, so he says, tell you what, let's just merge our two clans together, and then we'll have a nice big merged clan, right? So, right, we could have been Jews, Shem Jews or something, right? But didn't work out. Let's continue. Page 18, verse 18. Mitch Lucan.
ויטבו דבריהם בעיני חמור ובעיני שכם בן חמור. לא איחר הנער לעשות הדבר, כי חפץ בבת יעקב, והוא נכבד מכל בית אביו. ויבוא חמור ושכם בנו אל שער עירם, וידברו אל אנשי עירם לאמור, האנשים האלה שלמים הם איתנו, וישבו בארץ ויסחרו אותה, והארץ הנה רחבת ידיים לפניהם, את בנותם ניקח לנו לנשים, את בנותינו ניתן להם, אך בזאת יאותו לנו האנשים לשבת איתנו, להיות לעם אחד, וימול לנו כל זכר, כאשר הם נימולים, מקניהם בקניינם וכל בהמתם, הלא לנו הם, אך נאותה להם, וישבו איתנו.
Before we move on, Gail, you'll be next. But before we move on, Sophie, you can now see the left-hand side of the page. You can see where we're going. You can see the ending. What? You're supposed to just sit here while they make zonah out of our sister? So the exercise, if you'll bear with me, the exercise will be, what would Jacob say back? It doesn't say what he said back. Maybe he walked away, they won the argument, whatever it was. What would he say back? What's his argument, right? Let's see if we can articulate how Jacob would respond to that challenge. All right, good. Let's move further. Gail, 24.
וישמעו אל חמור ואל שכם בנו כל יוצאי שערו, וימולו כל זכר כל יוצאי שערו, ויהי ביום השלישי, בהיותם כואבים, יקחו שני בני יעקב, שמעון ולוי, אחי דינה, איש חרבו, ויבואו על העיר בטח, ויהרגו כל זכר, ואת חמור, ואת שכם בנו, הרגו לפי חרב. ויקחו את דינה מבית שכם, ויצאו בני יעקב באו על החללים, ויבוזו העיר אשר טימאו אחותם, את צאנם ואת בקרם ואת חמוריהם, ואת אשר בעיר ואת אשר בשדה לקחו, ואת כל חילם ואת כל טפם ואת נשיהם, שבו ויבוזו ואת כל אשר בבית. ויאמר יעקב אל שמעון ואל לוי, אחרתם אותי להבישני ביושב הארץ בכנעני ובפריזי, ואני מתי מספר, ונאספו עלי והיכוני, ונשמדתי אני ביתי, ויאמרו החסונה יעשה את אחותינו.
Koach, Yasher koach, Yasher kochech. Before we move on, just a quick pause, and then we'll come back to this exercise, right? Just I want to strengthen the exercise a little bit, which is to say, right, so they're making a point here, right? So they're making a rhetorical point, right? So it's a rhetorical question, right? They're asking, what? Should our sister be treated like a whore, right? So let's just spell out their rhetorical point and frame it not as a question, but as a statement. Andy, can you help me do that? Andy and I have been working on discourse, issues of discourse. So let's see if we can flip it from a rhetorical question to a straightforward statement, right? So the rhetorical question is, should our sister be treated like a whore? What are they really saying? What's their position?
What their position is, they're trying to justify their behavior, slaughtering everybody in the city with the excuse that the people of the city raped their sister, when most likely that's a false story.
Don't
go there. I know you've got a plan.
so say. Spell out the position that they're taking.
They're taking that they are justified in slaughtering the city because their sister was abused in some
Thank
fashion.
you. Period. Right. So let's not decide if that's right or wrong yet. But that's there. What's Jacob's position?
Jacob's has a number of positions. One is, you didn't ask me. Second is, I'm in charge. And
no, but not why. I'm not asking what's his motivation for the position. What is his position?
His position is he doesn't want to cause trouble, and beyond his position is he doesn't think his sons were in the right, and he just walks away from the situation.
So spell out their position, right? Their position. His position is, you were not justified.
Is you shouldn't have murdered the city.
You were not justified in doing what you did.
You're not justified for what you did.
Right. So there you go. So that's the argument, right? So now what's your position?
That's your argument.
No, I'm framing the argument. I'm not saying which one's right or which one's wrong. What's your position? What's your position?
My position is that it was completely unjustified.
So you're with Jacob.
I'm way beyond Jacob. I am even more opposed to what his sons did than even Jacob is.
How do you know how Jacob
walking away is insufficient?
Wait, Jacob might have felt stronger than you. How do you know how Jacob felt?
Because there's no report of anything he did about it except leave town.
He might have been burning inside, right? He might have been really upset, like you are. So why are you upset?
I'm upset because Dina was an adult woman and she acted to find a boyfriend, and the brothers misinterpreted intentionally the whole story, lied to the people of the city, and when they did what the brothers asked, they went in and murdered them.
Right.
Absolutely reprehensible behavior on the part of our supposedly revered ancestors.
And by the way, I think Jacob would agree.
Yeah.
Good.
But
I'd like to point out something, and that is that through all this goings on, Dina was living with Shechem. She never went home.
So what? Make your point.
She stayed with him.
Make your point. Yeah.
was she prisoner though?
Hold on. Make your Martin. What's your point?
Doesn't say whether she was a prisoner or not, but the point is that it doesn't seem that she was that reluctant. Even at the beginning of the story, she went out to go and have a good time with her girlfriends and got herself into the situation. It seems like Dina is not totally
That's clear. Yeah. It's
blameless
clear
in
from
the situation.
that's clear from the text. I think the text gestures.
She went out to find a boyfriend.
Right. That's what the text says. Yeah.
Hey, there's another thing about Jacob. I mean, Jacob is all concerned about himself. He says, "You have brought trouble on me, making me odious among the inhabitants of the land." He only cares about himself. I don't think he really cares.
He's responsible for the whole family, so like he's got a lot on his head. Like, so you can give him, I hear you, but still.
Okay, I've got to speak up for Dina. I'm sorry.
Please, yeah, Shelly.
My goodness is about to would go over. It wasn't Shabbat and go to Martin. Okay, yes, she was in the house. What power do you think a young woman would have in that time? She didn't have.
Oh my.
She was deflowered. Okay, she was not a virgin anymore, so she was basically untouchable almost, except for the guy that had done the dirty deed. And so she didn't have a choice whether to just go home with her brothers because they thought of her as a whore.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, ladies. Can I get a woo?
Yeah, woot.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's take a quick time out. Let's take a quick time out. Right. So the time out I want to take is how quickly this went from an intellectual exercise to a emotional issue. But the point I want to make here is that the Torah leaves it open at the end of the story with a rhetorical question, right? And so it's up to us to figure out what the true message is in the Torah. And guess what? I think it's actually variegated. I think there's actually multiple, values and lessons we can learn from this, depending on where we sit, depending on who we are, depending on our life experience. And but for now, let's continue in the Torah, and we'll come back to this question. Thank you, Shelley. I appreciate that. Page 35, verse 35. Al Fiveson.
Yeah. Before I start, I just want to say one more thing. So God tells Jacob to get out of here before these people get you. And then with God's help, all the people have wool thrown over their eyes, figuratively, so to speak. So they're unable to pursue them. So God is actually helping Jacob escape from all these deeds. And to me, that doesn't sit right either. So that kind of disturbs me, just to say that.
Al, before you read, what page are you on in the Chumash? I've lost it.
Page 211.
211.
Thank you.
Okay, here we go. Vayomer Elohim El Yaakov Kum Allah Beitel B'Shem Sham V'asei Sham Mizbeach Ba'el Hanarei Elecha B'varchacha B'pnei Esav Achicha Vayomer Yaakov El Beito V'el Kol Asher Imo Hasiru Et Elohei Anechar Asher B'tochacham V'hitaharu v'hachalifu simultechem v'naku v'naleh Beit El v'sasham mizbeach la'el olneh oti b'yom tzarati v'yhi madi b'derech asher alachti v'yitnu El Yaakov et kol hein echar asher b'yadam v'yatan zamim asher b'oznehem v'yitmon otam Yaakov Tachata Elah Asher Im Shechem Vayisa'u Vayhi Chitat Elohim Al Harim Asher Svivo Tehem Lo Arfu Acharei B'nei Yaakov V'yavo Yaakov Uzah Asher be'eretz Canaan, he Beit El, hu v'chol ha'am asher imo. Vayiven sham mizbeach, v'yikra l'makom El Beit El. Ki sham niglu elav Elohim, v'varcho l'pnei achiv. V'tamot dvorah v'neked Rivka, v'tikaver. Yitachat l'Beit El, tachat alon, v'yikra Shimon alon l'chut. Vayar Elohim El Yaakov v'va'om v'padan Aram v'yavarach oto. Vayomer lo Elohim Shemcha Yaakov lo Yakareh Shemcha od Yaakov ki im Yisrael yiyashemecha v'yakray et Shemo Yisrael. Vayomer lo Elohim Ani El Shaddai, Perei Urvei Goy, Ukahal Goyim Yemimecha, Umachim Eklatsecha Yetzeu.
Sure. Now, with your permission, so Shelley, I want to strengthen your point here, which is that well, actually strengthening my point, but through your point. But it's my point is that Torah is purposefully pushing our buttons. It's purposefully pushing our buttons to get us into this conversation. So Martin, flip back to page 206. Would you read the commentary on "Went Out" from the Eitz Chaim?
206. Went out. Girls of marriageable age normally would not leave a rural encampment to venture alone into an alien city. The narrative subtly criticizes Dinah's highly unconventional behavior through its use of the Hebrew stem meaning to go out. This has been interpreted by some medieval and modern commentators as a reference to some coquettish or promiscuous conduct.
I just want to be clear, it wasn't your idea. It was some interpreters have already preceded you in your assumption.
I am not saying, though, that because she went out and did whatever she did, that justifies anybody raping her.
I understand that. So what are you saying, though? So
I'm just saying that she is not, she's an actor in this because she went out. However, the rest of the story, her feelings, her position completely disappear from the story. Nobody cares at all.
Right. Very sad. Yeah, very sad. Yeah, Suzanne?
Rabbi?
Yeah, Leslie?
And also the fact that she's the only girl in the family. So the brothers would have been very protective of her.
Oh, yeah, that's the push. That's the button we're pushing. She's the baby sister of the manly brothers. Yeah.
Out in the world and had really no knowledge about it. So this interpretation about being coquettish or promiscuous, she was looking for friends. She didn't know from this. And of course, you're right. There is no excuse for raping her, no matter what.
Right. Yes.
And,
we all agree with that. Yeah.
There was no rape.
Never having been through that experience.
Anus. What's anus? Yeah, well, hold on. Let's let Leslie finish, then we'll come back to that.
I think that's important. I'm all for Dina's being cared about, and the fact, yes, that you don't hear about any of her feelings about everything that goes on, and that her brothers grab her and take her away after killing everyone, all the men.
Horrible story. It's a horrible story. We can agree with all that too.
To respond to Andy about there was no rape, so the word honest, which is rape, is not used, but the word used is ya'aneha.
Ya'aneha.
So I don't know.
Andy, what's your interpretation? Yeah.
She went out to find a boyfriend. She seduced the prince of the city.
Oy, oy, oy.
And if the thing that was unconventional is that she hooked up with him without her father's permission. That is, in that culture, the sin, if there's a sin.
All right. So you're
without her father's permission, probably because having grown up in a household with 12 brothers and a father who cheated on all his relatives, she didn't trust her father to make a good match for her, and she went and took matters into her own hand. Right, so she was a very modern woman, despite the era, and she was an independent actor, and the crime is that her brother took advantage of this to slaughter the city and steal all the goodies.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, good. So that's a read on the
Rabbi,
on the parsha that we don't all agree with, but that's okay. Go ahead, Suzanne.
Rabbi,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to try before I unmuted myself. I read something yesterday in a commentary that this is a particular story that is not usually taught to
correct.
kids when
Yeah.
they're learning. And that made me think, because so many people don't go beyond this, there may actually be people who are not aware of this story. And when they find it, it's very strange, doesn't fit in with the way we are taught. And I just think that that's very interesting.
Yeah.
A way of kind of manipulating us.
Wait, so you're a little disturbed by the fact that that we don't give the various sections and stories of the Torah equal weight, right? And that's interesting. Yeah, the rabbis have pulled through the Torah and chosen the most effective or easiest maybe way of communicating Jewish values, and this one's tricky, right? This one's complicated.
This one's very, very complicated.
Yeah, and so I just want to, we're just the tip of the iceberg today as we move on in our Torah reading. Micah, you ready? Verse 12. What page are we on? Yeah.
Page 213.
Rabbi, before we do that, can I make one comment about the language of the text?
Please.
The language of the text is very emotionally laden.
That's right.
And the Shechem, Chashkaba, I mean, that's, he desired her. Vaye'eneha, or she was, that's the same word we use for Yom Kippur. So there is a very emotionally laden text here. And I think that goes to your point that the Torah wants us to think about.
That's right. Thank you. All right, Micah, thank you.
V'eta'aretz asher natati la'Abraham ulitzchak lecha etnena ulizarcha echarecha aten et haaretz v'yal me'elav Elohim b'makom asher dibir ito v'yetze Yaakov mitzeva b'makom asher dibir ito mitzevet aven v'yesef aleha netzach v'yitzok aleha shamen Vayikra Yaakov et Shem Hamakom Asher Diber Ito Shem Elohim Beitel.
Yesher koach. Mishaberach Avotun Abraham Yitzchak Yaakov Saraf Kach Havliya Uyivarech et Kol HaKruim Vet Kol HaBaalei Kriya Asher Alu Hayam Lichvot HaMakam Lichvot HaTorah Lichvot HaShabbat HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yishmor Otam V'Kol Mishpachotam V'Yishlach Bracha V'Tzlacha B'Chol Ma'aseh Yedehem Amen. Mishaberach Avotun Abraham Yitzchak Yaakov Sarah Rivka Chavleah Vivarech Virapeh et Kol HaCholim.
Pinchas ben Sarah.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimele Rachmim Alhem Lachzikam V'Rapotam V'Yishlachem Me'er Rosh Min HaShamayim Refuat HaNefesh Refuat HaGuf B'toch Sha'el Mo Yisrael Shabbat Yimil Zoker V'Kol Lavash Tazman Kariv V'Namar Amen. Yitgadal V'Yitgadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma Divra Kirute V'Mlich Machute B'Chayichon V'Milchanam Chayachol Beit Yisrael B'Galat V'Zman Kariv V'Imru Amen.
Amen. Yeheshme Rabban
Barach Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'tramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei l'kodesh brichu le'ila min kol birchata v'shirata tishbachata v'nechamata damiran ve'elma v'imru amen. It's now time for the Haftarah. Shelley, you ready for that? Tell us what page we're on and all that. Do you have it? Are you in the?
We're on page 140. Well, I'm sorry. Prayers on 146, and the Haftarah starts Obadiah on page 222.
Thank you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'dim tovim v'ratzah v'divreihem anemarim b'emet. Baruch atah Adonai haboker b'torah Moshe abdo u'Yisroel amo Moving the
Hazon Uvaria Koamar Adonai Adonai Edom Shmua Shamanu Me'et Adonai B'tzir Bagoyim Shula B'tzir Bagoyim Shula Kumu V'nakuma Laha Lamilchama Hine Katan Netatika Bagoyim Bazu Atameod Vidon Lipra Hishiacha Shikni V'hag V'selamerom Shivato Omer Belibo Mi Yoridenu Oretz Im tag bia kana nesheg Bein kokavim sim kanacha Misham orid chanehum Adonai Im ganavim b'lecha Im shodei laila Et mit metam Halo yignevu dayam Im betzorim balach halo Yashiru alelot Et nefeshu esav nivu mitkonav Adhanavu shilchucha Kol anshei v'ritacha hishiucha Yaklu lecha anshei shlamacha Lakmecha Yashimu azor taktecha Ein tevuna bo Halo bayom hahuneum Adonai V'havadti hachamim edom Udbuna metar esav V'chatu geborecha teman Leman yikareis Mecharesav mikatel Mechamis Achika Yaakov techascha v'usha V'nikrata leolam B'yom amadcha mineged B'yom shivot zarim Hechelo V'nachrim Ba'osherav V'yarushalayim yadu gora Kamata ke'achad mecham V'yatere b'yom achicha B'yom nachru V'yatishma livnei Adonai b'yom avam V'yatardel picha b'yom sarah Al tavo v'sha'arami b'yom edam Al terek amatam V'rato b'yom edo V'yatishlachna b'chelo b'yom edo V'yatamod al haperek Lechakrit et pelishta V'yatasker srida b'yom sarah Ki karov yom Adonai al kol hagoyim Kasher asita ye'asela Gemucha yashu b'roshecha Ki kasher stitem achar koshei Ishto chol hagoyim tamid V'shatu v'lahu V'hayu kelo hayu Uchar Tzion tiyeh pleta v'haya kodesh V'yarshu beit Yaakov et morashehem V'haya beit Yaakov ash Uveit Yosef lehava Uveit Esav lekash V'dalku b'avahem yachalu V'lo yesari levet Esav Ki Adonai diber Vayarshu hanegev Tehaisa, Hashpelai Plishtim, Viarshu, Etzadei Ephraim, Vietzadei Shomron, Ubinyamin et Hagilad, Vigalud Hachel Hazah, Livnei Yisrael Asher Kenaanim Od Sarafim, then the Galet Yerushalayim Asher Bisparat Yeshu et Arev HaNegev V'alu Moshim B'char Tzion Lishpot et Harisav V'yitaka Haital Adonai Alecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol anim tzaddik b'chol hadarot ha'olam lan ha'omer v'yosem daber v'kayim shekol devarav emet v'tzedek ne'eman atahu Adonai Eloheinu v'ne'emanim devaracha v'devar echad midvaracha akor lo yashuv rekam ki hamelech ne'eman rakaman atah Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ne'eman b'chol devarav. Rachem al Tzion ki beit hayenu, v'lalu bat nefesh Yoshia b'mhera b'yameinu. Baruch atah Adonai, v'sameach Tzion b'vanecha. Sakeinu Adonai Eloheinu b'eliyahu hanavi avdecha, u'malchut beit David meshikecha. B'mehera yavo v'yagel libenu, hakisa lo yeshav zor, v'lo yinchalu od acherim et kevodo, ki b'shem kodshecha nishbata lo, shelo yifnei ra le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen David, HaTorah v'Avodah l'olim, hayom haShabbat hazeh. Shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu l'kedusha v'limnucha lechavod u'tifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach u'mbarchim otach yiparashim chai b'fti kol hai tamid le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh Shabbat.
Amen. Yasher kochach. Beautiful. Friends, we're going to close the Torah service in just a moment with Eitz Chaim. Ki lekach tov natati lachem. God says, I gave you a very good thing. Torati al tazovu. Don't lose sight of it. Eitz Chaim hi lemachazikim ba. It's a Eitz Chaim. It's a ever. Help me out, where Eliezer. It's an ever-flowering tree. Eitz Chaim hi. It's an ever-living tree. Is that? It's not very poetic, though. It's an ever-blossoming tree.
Yeah. Tree of life is good enough.
Fine. Well, but it says it says why, because oh no, it doesn't. Okay. Oh, you're right. Thank you, Eliezer. It says why later. Eitz Chaim hi lemachazikim ba. It's a tree of life for all those who hold on to it. V'tomchea meushar. Its ways are meushar, very pleasant, right? Which is different than we read this morning, is it not? Right? We didn't read anything pleasant, did we? So here we go. So deracheha derechei noam. Its ways are ways of pleasantness. V'chol netivotea shalom, and all of its branches, wherever you take it, leads to peace. Maybe it's not talking about the content. Maybe it's talking about the conversation. Right? We need to learn how to talk about these things in a peaceful way. Take us back to when that was a possibility. May we restore the sacred virtue of debate and conversation in a way that brings us towards more understanding and clarity rather than disruption. And rather than that'll work. We continue now with Eitz Chaim. Shelley.
Eitz Chaim hi lamakazikim ba v'torah Derachecha nachenoam Ekonetioteha Shalom Hashivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shuvah Kadesh Yameinu Kekadem.
Asher Kochech. Ken Alvin will lead us through the Musaf, page 155.
יתגדל שמי רבה.
אמן.
ויאמר דברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכונו ויומכונו כידוע בישראל בגלה וברכיים אמן. יהי שמירה במברך לעולם עולם יומיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קודשה בריחו נעלה מנקו ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירת ימה וימרו אמן. 156b. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Hoel Agadol Agibor V'Anora El Hayom Gomelech Hatzadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avor U'Mevi Goel Livnei B'neihem L'man Shemo B'Yava Melech Ozer Chokir Moshia U'Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magin Avraham ufokeh tzara Ata gibor le'olam Adonai Mechaye metim ata rav lehoshia Mashiva ruach morira gashem Mechakel chayim bechesed Mechaye metim berachamim rabim Tzomek noflim berofei cholim Umatir asurim Umekayim emunato lishenei afar Michamocha bar givuror Umido melach melech memir umechayeh Umatmiat Yeshua v'ne'emanata l'chayot metim baruch atah Adonai michayeh ametim.
Amen. הריצה ולקדושה כסציה ספר קודש שמי קודש ככתוב בנביאך וכרזל זה ויאמר
Yitzchak v'nagdishecha כסוטיח שרפי קודש המקדישים שמך בקודש ככתוב על יד נביאך וקרא זלזל ויאמר
קדוש 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 אדוני
קדוש אדוני צבאות מלך כל הארץ כבודו
ורומם לעולם משפחשון זזיה מקום כבודו ליומתם ברוך ימירו
כבודו מלא מלא המים מקום כבודו, כבודו מלא מלא על המים מקום כבודו, כבודו מלא עולם, משרתיו שואלים שואלים זה לזה, איה מקום כבודו, משרתיו שואלים שואלים זה לזה, איה מקום כבודו, לאומתם ברוך יאמרו, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו.
במקום אויבים ברחמים ויחונים אחדים שמוע רבבות כיום תמיד פעמיים בבא שמע אומרים
ממקומו יפן ברחמים ויחונם עמם יחדים שמו ערב הבוקר בכל יום תמיד המים ביעבר שמע אומרים
שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד
אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד
אלוהינו אבינו מלכנו מושיענו ישמענו ברחמיו שניתן לכל חי להיות לכם לאלוהים
הוא אלוהינו אבינו הוא מלכנו מושיענו והוא ישמיענו ברחמיו שנית לעיני כל חי להיות לכם לאלוהים
אני אדוני אלוהיכם
ודברי קודשך כתוב לאמור
ימלוך אדוני
אלוהים אלוהי ציון לדור ודור הללויה לדור ודור נגיגות לך ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד כי אל מלך גדול וקדוש אתה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Prayer for peace.
עושה שלום במרומה והוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. 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 ואמרו אמן. Kaddish Aleim 181. יתקרא ויקרא שמי רבה, ביום הדברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וימכון וחיי לכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב יאמרו
אמן. יהי שמי רבה לעולם ולעולם יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה בריחו מאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תפארתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ויאמרו אמן.
תתקבע צלורון ואורהון דכל ישראל קודם אבהון דבשמיה ויאמרו אמן. יש למה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן.
Oh, in a moment, we're going to Ein Eloheinu, and we'll be inviting Brady to lead us in Ein Eloheinu. What's the story there, Ken Levine? When's the bar mitzvah? What's happening?
I'm not sure what the question is, but Brady's been preparing for a while. We've been he's going to have his bar mitzvah, and I think it's 2 weeks.
That's the question. Yeah.
Yes, 2 weeks from now, and he's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Really
so he's here to spread his wings a little bit and practice. And
sometimes we have the kids do the kiddush. Sometimes we have them participate in advance. It's good presence. It's a good comfort, so that the bar mitzvah is a little less threatening.
There you go. Thank you. And so Brady, so you're ready to go. 182 Ein Eloheinu. Unmute.
Ein Eloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kmoshienu, Mi Eloheinu, Mi Hadonenu, Mi Hamalkeinu, Mi Hamoshienu. Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu, Atahu Shiktiru Avotenu, Lefaneha Ekatoret Hasamim.
All right, Aleinu is on page 183. Go for it.
Alenu leshabeach ladon hakol late geduva leotzer breshit shelo asanu kigoye haratzot velo samanu ki mishpachot hadama shelo sam halkenu kahem vegor alenu ki achol hamanam ve'anachnu korim umishtahavim umodim Lifnei melech malchei amlachim hakadosh baruch hu shehu noteh shamayim ve'yosef haaretz u'moshev yikaro b'shamayim yimal Ushlina tuzo, Bego veher meromim. Hu Eloheinu einod, Emet malkeinu efetzulato, Kakatu vetorato, Be'adatayom v'hashavota elevavecha, Ki Adonai hu Elohim, Bashamayim ima'al, Ve'al haaretz mitzvachat, Einod.
We read to ourselves to the bottom of the page, and in a moment, Brady will pick up from Kakatu B'Toratacha. All right, ready when you are.
V'ne'emar v'chaya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yivye Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
Yasher Koach, nicely done, Brady. We'll say the Mourner's Kaddish, and so I'll introduce the Mourner's Kaddish with some words, and you can relax for a minute. Yep. So we want to send our condolences to those who are in Shloshim for Shirley Katzen, Doris Gruskin, and Cecily Sherbel. We commemorate the following Yortzites: Julius Brockman, Annie Bloom Buck, Isadore Fried, Hyman Goldberg, Armand Grenadier, Avraham Iskowitz, Laurie Leventon, Nat Levy, Craig Magenheim, Harry Nadell, Lawrence Paul, Helene Ringer, Hyman Rolnick, Arnold Royal, Stephen Schwartz, Jerome Sherman, Rabbi Jerome Sherman, Cantor Samuel Herman Orbach, Edward Weidman, and Sarah Zlotnick. Mourner's Kaddish, and unmute for Mourner's Kaddish.
Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabba.
Amen.
Ve'amad v'rachmim v'yamlich machudei. V'chayechodu v'yamecho v'chayecho be'Yisrael. V'agala v's'udu. Amen.
Amen. Yeheshme
Amen. Yibarak v'yistabak. Yibarak v'yistabak v'yaseh. Yetadar v'yitadar v'yitadar v'yitadar. Le'elam nikol b'chata v'shivata. Tush b'chata v'nechmata da'amiran v'avibru. Amen. Yehi shalom v'rachamim shemayim. Aleinu v'al Yisrael v'ibru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom v'alav v'yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'ibru.
Amen.
One who makes peace above, breathe peace and comfort to us below, and together we say Amen. Just to put a full circle on things, I'll introduce Rhoda in just a moment. At the beginning of the service, before we got on, we were chatting about Kimberly DeBias, who is a friend of the shul living in Austin, and looking to enter rabbinical school. And so Lynn made a comment how wonderful it is that Bris Shalom births so many clergy, right? And we also, at the end of the service, as an envelope, we also paid our respects to clergy who have gone the way of all the world. Cantor Sam Urbach, Rabbi Jerome Sherman, and Rabbi Sam Karf. So there's, we were also paying tribute to clergy on the other end. Yeah, that way they still influence us in this world. And so may their memories continue to inspire us along the paths of life that we tread. Rhoda, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. As always, thank you to Rabbi Teller, Cantor Levine for leading us, and to everyone who took part in services, particularly to Marcia Hurwitz, who davened Pesukei Zimra for the first time, but I know it won't be the last time. Mazel tov, Marcia. And Brady, we'd really look forward to having you lead us in 2 weeks as you become a bar mitzvah. That would be a wonderful time. This evening, Havdalah will be led on Facebook Live at 6:15 by Rabbi Teller and Nava. Daily services continue at 9 on Zoom every morning and in the evening on Facebook Live at 6:15. Tomorrow, Cantor Levine's class on anti-Semitism continues at 11 a.m. Also at 11, Shelley Nadell, after her leading us today in services, will be conducting a program for CBS Women, and it's open to everyone on thriving financially in a crisis. So I invite you to go to one of those programs. Zoom at noon continues on Tuesday with another program from Yad Vashem. And of course, on Thursday evening is the first night of Hanukkah. I hope you will join us on Zoom, our whole community on Zoom, so we can celebrate the holiday every evening together. And there'll be a special program, a drive-through program in our parking lot a week from tomorrow, which will be the Sunday evening of Hanukkah. And you can find all the information about it on the Boker Tov. We've got lots going on as always. Also, I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom, a Shavua Tov, and a Chag Sameach, with my prayer that it will not be too long where we can begin to pray together in our own synagogue building. And again, Shavua Tov, everyone.
Shavua Tov. We also have some birthdays to celebrate. Yes, Cantor Levine, remind me about the birthdays.
So there's a number of people here with birthdays, but Joyce Garfinkel, Lou Geigerman, Amy is here today with Amy Halevi celebrating her birthday, Ben Patel, Lori Slater, Gail is also, I think I saw her, and Hi Warsha is also celebrating his birthday.
Thank you. We gave him a call yesterday. Haven't heard from him yet, but we pray for Hi's health as well.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mazal Tov to all the birthdays. Brady, my favorite moment was Shehuno Teshamayim. Nice job, man. That was fun. What's Cantor Levine, if you'll conclude with Adon Olam?
Sure. Adon Olam Hashem Allah Terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Li'nasa B'Petro Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nichra Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'yacharei Kiplot HaKol Levado Yimlok Nora V'hu Haya V'hu Oveh V'hu Yiyeh B'tifara V'hu Yiyeh B'tifara V'hu Echad V'yein Sheni Lehamshir Lo Le'akbira V'li Reshit V'li Taklit V'lo Ha'oz V'hamisra V'lo Ha'oz V'hamisra V'hu Eli V'chai Go'ali V'tzor Chafi V'yetzara V'hu Nisi Oman Nosri Menat Kosi V'yom Mekra Menat Kosi V'yom Mekra V'yado Akid Ruchi V'yeti Shan V'yaira V'imruchi Gaviati Adonai li v'lo ira Adonai li v'lo ira. Kiddush. V'shamro v'nei Yisroel et ha-Shabbat l'asor et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. V'shamro v'nei Yisroel et ha-Shabbat l'asor et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום
Is he frozen for everybody? Vayina fa Shabbat, Vayina fa Shabbat,
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית
עולם. Who's got some wine? Has anybody got any wine there? Oh, yes. Leslie, make the bracha. Unmute. Leslie, unmute. Let's see, give us a Bopra Gafen. Yeah, unmute first, though.
You're on mute.
All right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Borei pri hagafen.
Amen. 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 All right. We'll end with a priestly benediction. Martin Cohen, give us a priestly benediction.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
Ken yehi ratzon.
Ve'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka.
Ken yehi ratzon.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yaseh lecha shalom.
Ken yehi ratzon.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Rabbi, please let me thank Mike Droge for being our Gazumbai. It went right over my announcements, and thank you, Mike, especially because you were in California and you began this at 7:30 in the morning. So thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Say hi to the family.
Everybody's awake now.
For the boy, do some like
that.
do some like airplane and like throw them around a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, great.
Thank you, Mike, very much.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Mazel tov, Moshe.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
Everyone who read did a wonderful job.
True.
Everyone did. Miss you guys big time. I
so
miss
much.
my buds, man.
Yeah, same here.
No.
Can
That's
you
the fun of
imagine our
services
first
is
time
chatting
back?
with is getting caught up on everything.
Yeah.
So
Thank you,
Can
Brady.
imagine our first time back, we're gonna have to show up like an hour early because nobody's gonna pay attention to the service. We're all just gonna say hi for the first hour. So we're like,
exactly.
we're gonna have to schedule that appropriately, knowing that we're not gonna behave for the first bit.
We'll go to have lunch and then we'll come back and finish the service. How's that?
Have breakfast and then have the service.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Shavua tov.
Stay warm.
Shabbat shalom. A beautiful job done by Brady.